Here we are in much better working conditions in my basement. First order of business will be take out the top shaft and see that rear bearing. The 1946 bulletin in the book shows that the top shaft specification for a bearing adjustment is 3 to 5 thousandths end play. That's adjusted with the shim pack behind the front quill here. And this quill I've seen to be a snug fit with its uh, housing boss to the transmission case for stability. So don't want to get too rammy and be jamming into the shim pack here and ruin them. And there's a chance to give it a tap from the back side if necessary. So this nut is already loose, the quill's loose, those four bolts will come out. We'll take the quill off and potentially the next shot will be the offending bearings on the input shaft. I take back what I said, beg pardon, about being able to push on this quill from inside the transmission. That's not true. You can see it, but the teeth of the gear are pretty much in the way. So I used a dead blow hammer and a brass punch. The quill is not indexed once you get the hardware out, so I've shifted it now so I can potentially pry behind the one ear and tap on the other to gradually move it away without damaging the shims. Using a small pry bar behind this corner and brass punch and dead blow hammer, I was able to drive the quill away from the transmission. This boss in the back side here is a snug fit in the transmission case to support the drive shaft. It's not just the bolt, the bolts aren't holding, it's that boss that hold the drive shaft in place. So that's a close fit. So again, you don't want to damage the shims taking that out, and you get to decide confirm that you're going to replace the seal on the front of that. So here is the transmission drive shaft, and the you have to manually focus it. What may be typical pitting of these tapered roller bearings. I found it interesting that in such a small transmission case, apparently condensation and pitting occur in the small cases just as much in the big bathtubs of bigger John Deeres and other brands. So, of course, the cup could be in as bad or worse shape. I'll show it later. Front bearing also has some spalling or pitting. So these transmission drive shaft bearings are not difficult to remove and replace. A bearing splitter on the back side and a press in both cases. There's room to get behind the race on both of them, and put them in and press them off. That will be it until I get this mounted and show the differential. I missed realizing that I could have shown the front bearing race with the transmission drive shaft out. This is no doubt the bottom side the way it was sitting, with again corrosion on the race surface. Top's not so bad. So given that that has to go, the only way to, well, the hammer and punch way to remove it is to get the seal out of the way. This large body seal is in the way, and once the seal's removed, then can get at the back side of that race with a hammer and a punch.